Hi, I'm Sarah Smith, Councillor for Central Ward in Port Stephens Council. I've lived in Port Stephens for almost 10 years and I also own a cafe located right on the beach at Baruby in Anna Bay.
Hi, my name's Leah and I'm the President of the Tomaree Business Chamber. Today we're talking about partnerships with local industry and community, and we're going to go through some examples of how we've delivered some vibrancy across and placemaking across town centres, and we've got some great examples to run through of that today.
Port Stephens is a wonderful area located approximately 2.5 hours north of Sydney and about 45 minutes from our largest regional city, which is Newcastle. We have a wide variety of key industries employing many of the 71,000 people who call Port Stephens home. These include manufacturing, defence and aviation, and tourism. Port Stephens is made up of a combination of local areas and a cluster of small village-like locations as well. Port Stephens Council adopted a new economic development strategy in 2018. This provides the framework for creating connections, growing trust, and creating an environment that allows Council to support business growth, drive the visitor economy and inject vibrancy into our whole community, which benefits everyone.
So I'm lucky enough to live in beautiful Nelson Bay and have done so for the past 15 years. Nelson Bay is a very popular tourist destination, as most people know, and we've got a really strong sense of community here. The Tomaree Business Chamber has quite a large reach. We work closely with Council to align with their economic development strategy to deliver on initiatives, so making vibrant town centres and joining business and community to work together to deliver those with Council is one of our key initiatives. So in 2017, one of our local business groups called Nelson Bay Now approached the Tomaree Business Chamber, and we had discussions around how tired the town centre was looking and that it was what we thought was in desperate need of some sort of a makeover. We talked to Port Stephens Council and engaged with the Economic Development Unit, and they'd had some previous discussions with the Mid-North Council around the work they did up there called Vibrant Spaces. From those discussions we managed to get a guest speaker down from Mid-North Council to talk at one of our business chamber breakfasts, and they talked about how the local business and community can work together to create some magic in the town centres, and it didn't have to wait for a strategic planning document to come off a shelf to actually have that happen. Our community got very excited about the thought of such a concept, and so we had volunteers literally knocking at our door saying, can we do something in Nelson Bay? So from that we formed the Nelson Bay Civic Pride Community Group, and that community group was a group of passionate locals and business owners who wanted to see us make some sort of a difference in the Nelson Bay Town Centre. So working jointly with Port Stephens Council and working on a particular project plan that we built ourselves, I guess, with Council over a couple of months. On the 27th of May 2018, 72 volunteers turned up in the Nelson Bay Town Centre, and we set about doing probably the biggest working bee you've ever seen on the Tomaree Peninsula. After the working bee day, we realised there was going to be some ongoing maintenance required of those gardens. So the Business Chamber spoke to the local businesses that had gardens situated out the front of their business, and we talked to them about the idea of adopting that local garden and paying something like $50 a year to have a little sign that we got the men's shed to build. So, you know, garden proudly sponsored by this local business. And we encouraged them to maintain that garden, to water it, to plant flowers in there, and to assist the volunteers of the Civic Pride group who continually maintain the gardens, but just to help them out. So it's been a great initiative, but it gives the businesses some real ownership and buy-in of making the area outside of their shop front look really nice. So with the community and businesses coming together to do such a thing as our huge working bee for the day, I think not only the pride that everyone felt in doing that day and the accomplishment and standing back at the end of the day of what had been achieved, there's also a sense of buy-in, I guess, and ownership of maintaining that ongoing, and I think that's the brilliant thing about having the community get involved in such an activity is we're not sitting back now and relying on Port Stephens Council to turn up and maintain our gardens and make it look beautiful and continue to look lovely for our locals and our tourists. It's about us getting in there and their own pride in being able to maintain that work and continue to make the town look beautiful. So the group of Civic Pride volunteers are just an absolutely wonderful, passionate group, and they've really forged a strong relationship with the Port Stephens Council. Since our big Working Bee Day, they've also organised little mini Working Bees. They contact council when things need to be done, like when chairs need to be painted or gardens need a little bit of extra love and attention that they need some support with. So they've really taken ownership, but also, as I said, formed a really strong bond with the council. And when things are needed to be done, they certainly work together to get them done.
Beautiful Sunday morning here in Nelson Bay, and we've got an amazing amount of volunteers here. There's such a great vibe around here of everyone working in gardens, painting, weeding, removing chewing gum off the ground.
It's just a bunch of locals wanting to get in and clean up our town and make it a nice place to live, a nice place for us to sit down and have a cup of coffee and look around at some better looking gardens, and I think importantly as well for our tourists when they come into town. We had people turning up at 6:45, all dressed up and ready to go, you know what I mean, in their gardening gear, and it was just amazing to see people excited to come down and to help out and do the work. It was good.
Great to see so many different people from different walks of life all working together with a common cause. It's fantastic to see.
Very proud as the Mayor of this town to see so many people out here supporting each other. I mean, the name of the group, Civic Pride, is certainly what it is showing this morning.
Key focus of Council's Economic Development and Tourism Plan is building relationships and creating connections. This strategy focuses on 4 key areas: driving economic growth, increasing overnight visitor spend, making business growth easier, and importantly, creating people-friendly spaces. Council is unable to make these things happen by themselves. We need good working relationships with businesses and the local community, particularly organisations like our local business chamber, the Tomaree Business Chamber, Destination Port Stephens. Council has an economic development and tourism panel, and part ownership in the Newcastle Airport. The Council is acutely aware that we cannot deliver these changes on our own. There needs to be genuine partnership from the business community, and this creates sustainability, which is very important in keeping any initiative that we undertake going into the future. The Port Stephens Council really understands the value of placemaking. This is making spaces across our LGA more livable and more user-friendly for our residents and visitors. We're all responsible for this. We need to create a great place and reflect the culture and identity of our community. We've all seen great plans for town centres and cities and public spaces that are printed out and sit on a shelf for years and nothing ever happens. And what we want to see is these ideas coming to life and projects really getting off the ground. A lot of the time, the best placemaking outcomes occur when there is little or limited budget. And this is very important in showing that we can make a lot happen with little resources. The 7-day makeover process has been carried out in numerous towns in Australia and New Zealand, and it all starts with getting the community to invest and commit to making these changes in their town. So there's 2 days of workshops, and planning is the start of the process. Everyone comes up with their projects and their budget, and then on the 3rd day you move into actually picking up a shovel and a hammer and really getting started on your projects in your town. And then it's 5 days of really hard work, culminating with a bit of a party at the end. And the makeover in Anna Bay saw record numbers of people come out and volunteer their time, and people saying things like, I've never volunteered before, but I love this, I'm going to keep coming, and what other projects can I be involved in? And that was exactly the type of response that we wanted, because we wanted the community to invest in this project. And the other way that they invested was by actually donating money. Council made a financial contribution to the project, but then the community raised money themselves, and that made a really big difference in people's commitment level, which is great to see. So this 7-day makeover is really just a starting point for the town of Anna Bay at the moment, but the concept can also be rolled out across other areas, and it doesn't have to be a big 7-day thing every time. The idea is that people keep working on smaller projects and just keep making small improvements over a long period of time.
So here in Anna Bay today, we are doing a 7-day makeover. Port Stephens Council have brought in a group to generate a community-led makeover of Anna Bay.
So it all started last Saturday at about 9:30 with a workshop working out what we were going to do, and everyone's been working so hard all week, and now we're here seeing the end result.
Anna Bay is an important town in the Port Stephens LGA with a really passionate community, and we're harnessing that passion, which is demonstrated here today with all the volunteers making and painting and sanding and building, really putting their blood, sweat and tears into improving the community, improving the township for themselves and their family.
There's long been a perception that Anna Bay has been the poor cousin of Port Stephens. So this was a big thing to just change that attitude and get people to invest and get people involved and take that ownership, and particularly see what we've achieved this week in such a short time. We can do so much more, and I'll certainly be driving that in whatever way I can.
The council have recognised for a long time that Anna Bay needed some attention, particularly the township. The Anna Bay community were very vocal in standing up for their own community, which is fantastic to see. And the 7-day makeover is the start of an ongoing program to deliver improved infrastructure to Anna Bay and to the Anna Bay community. The 7-day makeover program is being led by Port Stephens Council, but the ideas and all the work that are being generated is coming from the community themselves.
This crew, the 7-day makeover crew that came in and helped us, well, we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. I guess that was the fun part, that we had the say on what we could do. They worked out with council what we could and couldn't do, and then it was just up to us to be as creative as we wanted to be. So that was good being part of that. But yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do it without the 7-day makeover crew. They were fantastic, really good to work with.
Living here for so long and so many people I don't know, this is a good opportunity to realise that we are such a close-knit community, and the amount of people you see in the orange vests walking around is quite amazing, so it's a nice community.
And volunteering and contributing, even if you can only do an hour or two, you get a feeling of a contribution and doing something that's outside of yourself and a normal routine of everyday life. Well, I think it's just being a part of it and everybody else feeling the same, just giving, and you can see the momentum, it creates momentum.
This has been absolutely overwhelming. Great thanks to the council for giving us a grant or some money so we can get this project moving. All the shops and businesses around here have also put money in, individuals have put money in. What I love about this project in particular, it's not just people from Anna Bay, it's the whole community, and it's so important, it's all generations here. We've seen people just, even on their crutches and broken arms, we're all coming to help, we can all give a little bit and we get so much back.
Really, this project, it's important to Anna Bay, it's important to Port Stephens Council as a community development project. Everyone's helping each other out. People are really enthused, really excited. People are donating time, they're donating materials, they're donating skills, and I think everyone's going to get a real buzz when projects are complete.
This will show other areas right across Port Stephens that we can do similar things in other towns, Raymond Terrace, Medowie, so many areas. could pick up this model and do a similar thing, and I think it's going to have that wider benefit. Once people see it, they just will be blown away and want to get involved.
Okay, so another recent initiative that we worked on jointly with Port Stephens Council was our Christmas festive promotion. What we decided to do was to try and engage with our local community to shop local and to support our local businesses. So with a very limited shoestring budget, the Business Chamber got together with Council's Economic Development Unit and thought about what could we do. So as I said, on a shoestring budget and in a very limited amount of time, we came up with a Christmas shopping program. So that program ran over a couple of weeks, and we had 2 late night shopping nights in Nelson Bay, which we wouldn't normally do at that time of year. We engaged with a local Santa to wander around the town and to bring the kids in. We had kids performing, dancing on the stage and trying to create a really wonderful, nice atmosphere, but most importantly to encourage people to do business locally and to shop locally. So to assist us to understand exactly what impact economically that the Shop Local campaign would have for us for having our Christmas trading festive season, the Council provided us with some research into what spending $1 locally would bring to our local economy. What we learnt was for every $100 spent in a small business in Port Stephens, $60 of that $100 stays locally. Whereas in comparison, if people were to shop online and spend $100, only $3.50 would be staying in the local economy. So knowing this information really helped us to push the message out there that shopping locally would make a significant difference to our local businesses and the economic benefit that would bring, rather than jumping online and shopping online. So after the Christmas promotion, the local traders really did start to form a closer working relationship, and there's been some discussions around looking at having other late night or after hours trading for our local businesses, which is a great initiative, and it's good to see that them taking those on board themselves. So we're looking forward to seeing what other programs roll out in the CBD across the coming year.
What we offer, I think, is we're very personable. We really get to know our customers.
What we offer is genuine, and that's the way that we deal with our customers as well, is that what you see is what you get from us.
Now, being a resident since 1960 of Raymond Terrace, it's a great community. As it turns out, we probably are the oldest ongoing business with the same ownership.
I honestly feel like I've always wanted this space to feel like a home. So that means we really want to treat our customers like family.
It's just a different engagement, and you can't really do that in other communities.
Local is extremely important. They are what we have built this business on.
I work in the terrace. I have lunch in the terrace every day. I have coffee in the terrace every day. So by keeping me in business, there's 10 regular companies that I frequent, which helps keep them in business. It all flows in together.
It's very connected. My bookkeeper has lunch here, my accountant has lunch here. I really love it.
When you spend $100 at our shops across Port Stephens, we know that $60 of that stays in our local community and flows on to other businesses as well.
Helps fund my family, my staff's families, and it just the roll-on goes from there, especially when my staff are locals. It keeps the money in the area.
It's the tourists that come and buy in bulk quickly, but it's the locals that keep you here year-round.
I'd say to anyone that's looking to do some Christmas shopping, get out there, explore some of the wonderful businesses that we do have. Make sure you check it out this Christmas time.
In 2019, Port Stephens Council received some funding to redevelop Apex Park. This is a central area in the town of Nelson Bay that connects the township to the waterfront. The area needed a lot of cosmetic work, but also redesigned to make it more user-friendly and able to host very different styles of events. As part of the opening of Apex Park, we wanted to show the community and as many people as possible how this space could be used. And one of the things that came out of that was a 4-day Tomaree Arts Festival. So the local art community got involved. We had displays in the park. There were local schools involved. There were street performers. There was food, music, and it really opened up the area to a lot of people who probably hadn't been in there before. 2019, Port Stephens Council facilitated something called the Fern Bay Fiesta. Fern Bay is a small area bordering on the Newcastle local government area, and for several years staff have been working on a new strategy, a Fern Bay and Stockton strategy. And most people probably know that it's hard to get people excited about reading through an actual strategy, pages and pages of information, but we also wanted to make sure that we conducted the most effective community consultation that we could for the people who live in this area. It's a very fast growing area, lots of families, they need more infrastructure, and we wanted to reach out to as many of those people as we could. So Council held a food truck event on a Friday night and basically just engaged with the community in their own backyard, and it was very, very well received.
So in summary from our presentation today, we hope that you get a really good feeling and understanding for how, if we work together, when we bring business, local community and work together with our local councils, that we can really make some difference and go a long way towards rejuvenating and revitalising our town centres.